Hi girls, Mr. Gilmore here, just coming at you again with another video on coordinates. Today is the 2nd of April, and today we're going to be talking about the slope of a line. So, what do we mean by slope? Well, you've all heard the term, you know what a slope is, someone's going up a slope, someone's going down a slope. But what do we mean about it mathematically? Well, imagine, I'm on a bicycle here, I'm not going to draw myself. I'm walking up this hill. Let's be upfront here. I do not have the artistic skill to do an entire bicycle. And I want to figure out what is the slope. Is there a way we can mathematically describe this slope? And there definitely is. We define slope as the rise over the run. Now, what do I mean by the rise and what do I mean by the run? Well, we describe the rise if we take 2 points, so we're going to take A and B here on this line, and we're going to say the rise is the change in the y coordinate. So here is the rise, and the run is the change in the x coordinate. Okay? So if we're just looking at that, we can go, okay, so the run is 2, and the rise is 3. So we can go, okay, rise over run, that would be 3 over 2. But this is great if you've got a graph in front of you. What if you don't? What if you're just given 2 coordinates? How would you find that? Well, okay, let's look at what the rise actually is. Can you see that the rise here is just going to be the second coordinate, and I'm just going to um, jot in x2, y2, x1, y1 here. Okay, so A is x1 and y1, B is x2, y2, similar to when we were doing midpoint. And you can see here that the rise, is that not just the same as the height it's at the end, take away the height it's at the beginning? So is the rise not just y2 take away y1? It most certainly is. And is the run similarly not just the distance he's at the end versus the distance he was at the beginning? X2 take away x1. So if we plug that in, we could just go, okay, slope is, y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. Let's plug in the values for both of these coordinates and see if that works out, if we get the same answer as we can see just with our own eyes. Well, y2, that's going to be 4, y1 is 1, x2 is 3, sorry, it's 4, my mistake. X2 is 4, x1 is 2. Lo and behold, that still gives us 3 over 2. So the slope, I'm just going to zoom in so I can write it nicely here. Slope is the same as the rise over the run, and that's the same as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so if you girls could just jot down that example, take a pause, and we'll move on to another example. Sorry, take a pause, jot that down. So our other example, you will see this time we can see, okay, if I'm starting from up here, and when we're talking about slope, we're always going from left to right, okay? We're always going from left to right. So we're saying, okay, the slope is going up in the last one. You can see that. It's going down in this one. So what's that going to do to our rise and run? Well, the rise is now negative, isn't it? Like, we've got a negative rise. It's not rising at all, it's going down. It's the opposite of rising. So let's plug that into our formula we've just established. So slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus, x2 minus x1. So a is x1 and y1. It is also 1 and 5. B is x2 and y2. And it is also 4 and 1. Okay, so let's plug those values in. Y2 is 1. Y1 is minus 5. X2 is 4. X1 is minus 1 is 1. So plugging that in there, we've got minus 4 over 3. So the slope is negative. And what we know from all of this is any slope that's going up from right to left. So if I did, let's do 3 slopes like this, okay? 3 slopes. You'll notice all of these, those are positive slopes. And if the slope going from left to right is going down, so like we can see here, we're going to have, those are all negative slopes. So if you just even look at it, you can go, okay, I just need to remember if it's going down from the two y values, like if the slope is going down from left to right, it's negative. If it's going up, it's positive. Okay, I'm going to do one more example. Take a quick chance look at this, and I'll do one more example, and then I might do like an algebraic. I'm sorry, not an algebraic one, but like an example without a grid, okay? So we've got the coordinates of this slope here. You'll notice that, however, a portion of it is in the negatives, okay? So we've got minus 2 and 1. And B here, you'll notice that that's the most leftmost one, okay? So because it's the one furthest to the left, it's going to be our x1 and our y1. And then A is going to be 1 and 5. And because A is the one more to the right, it's going to be our x2 and our y2. Okay, so let's have a look at our slope here. Before we begin, do you think it's going to be positive or negative, our slope? Okay, so think about that to yourself, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds, okay? Fantastic. Okay, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals 5, take away 1, over 1, take away minus 2, okay? Let's take away negative 2. Remember, girls, you need to remember if you're plugging in a value that's negative into the x value, you need to be careful of your signs, okay? So that's going to be a 4 on top, and then taking away a negative number. Remember, if you're taking away a negative number, if I lose debt, if I have less debt, then I have more money, right? So it's going to be the same here. So x minus, sorry, 1 take away negative 2 is the same as 1 plus 2. So I've got 4 over 3. It was positive, because from left to right, it's going up. Okay, let's have an idea when we just have the coordinates. So let's say A here is going to be, let's say, minus 2, minus 3, and B here is going to be, let's say, 1 and 2. Okay? Again, we're just going to jot in for ourselves, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so that we can see these very closely, because we don't need our graph right now. Okay, so we can see, okay, A is x1, y1, B is x2, y2. I'd always recommend just jot these down, label which ones are x1 and y1 you're far, far, far less likely to make a mistake that way, okay? So slope here, that's going to be the same as y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit here. So that's going to be the same as 2 take away -3. Remember, we're dealing with negatives here. That's a bit messy. x2, 1, x1 is -2 and -2. So again, we're taking away negatives, so it's going to be 2 plus 3 over 1 plus 2. So that's going to equal 5 over 2. Okay, great, girls. So that's as much maths as I feel I need to run through with you girls. I'm going to throw you a few questions now. I have stupidly shut my book, so it's going to take me a second or two to find the correct questions. Let's do on pages 307 through 309, questions 1 through 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay, so can we do that work there? If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to contact me. Thank you. Bye-bye.